Hello guys, Trinson here. Today I'll be reading some r/NuclearRevenge. I've been a bit salty lately. Well, more than salty, and I need something to quench this thirst. Delicious revenge. Enjoy. Cheat on me and have your new loudmouth husband validate your actions cause I was busy mourning my brother. Let's see how your new husband likes it when the shoe is on the other foot. And let me know how loosely everything goes while I get full custody of the dog and children. English is not my first language, but the odyssey of this woman and her loudmouth new husband makes for a good read. My uncle's revenge and how he stripped his wife of everything, from status, children, family dog, and money. Here it goes. So my uncle and his wife had a very good relationship. They did everything together. She was a good mother, but was dependent on my uncle for money. He earned while she stayed at home, fucking another man and looking after the kids, 6 and 12. How nice, right? A really loving and caring wife. For more context, my other uncle had died, so of course my uncle was mourning for a few months. He wanted love and to be cuddled and not have sex. Well, his wife didn't care. She would give him a kiss and a quick hug, then carry on doing what the fuck she was doing, such as cooking and cleaning. We would ask him how it is that she seemed so distant, and his reply was that everyone deals with grief a certain way. Turns out her grieving process included cheating with another man, a family friend of all things. My uncle's brother had died, and during this time, they had many friends visit them at their house, especially from a family friend they had known forever, who would visit with his child so the children could play while the grown-ups talked to each other. My uncle didn't think anything of it or the frequency of which this man would visit, especially when it was during the day. He thought it was a drop-off his son kind of thing, so the children could play. That was until his little boy, my cousin, drew a picture he wanted to show daddy, my uncle. My little cousin said it was a secret and mommy said family friend, and her were playing a new game that they only could play. That already made my uncle suspicious. But never did he think his wife would ever cheat on him, especially since he was still mourning. In fact, we were all shocked. This woman is so prim and proper, to a T, with a clean house, good mannerism, fine clothes, and upturned nose. His son proceeds to take out a crumpled piece of paper which he had hidden from under his bed and shows it to my uncle, saying he went to fetch it from the bin after his mommy threw it away. It was a drawing. He explained that mommy had told him not to draw her and the family friend again, cause it's a private game that no one can know about. However, my uncle's son, feeling hurt, went to retrieve his drawing and thought perhaps daddy might like to see it and give him applause, cause he think he can draw so nicely and daddy would like to see. It turns out after some explanation that it was a drawing of family friend sticking his pee-pee next to mommy's wee-wee. My uncle took a picture of the drawing while shitting himself and recording everything his son said about what he drew. He asked things like when and where mommy was playing these games. Turns out she did it when she thought the kids were busy during the day outside playing, and that she basically had sex around the whole house while locking the doors and leaving the kids without supervision for a few minutes. He also found out that the older kids made their own game of observing the adults having sex and would listen or watch the adults doing their thing through the doors and curtains from outside, while the young son, who drew the picture, would make noises to pretend to be busy playing outside so as not to alert the adults. The children would essentially take turns to see what family friend, my uncle's wife, were doing out of curiosity. This coming from the most self-important, prim and proper woman you've ever met. Do you know what her response was to my uncle when he asked her why? After finding out that they were together in his house with the children around, that he paid for, as her lazy ass wanted to stay at home. She said, and I kid you not, "You wouldn't give me what I needed, and kept denying me, so I went to look for it somewhere else." And somewhere along the lines of, "I had the right to do it since you weren't giving me what I needed or caring about me, loving me, etc." Can you believe it? Not only did the kids see that nonsense, not only did she neglect them for selfish reasons and lock them outside for a few minutes, not only did she cheat as he was mourning for his brother, she had the sheer audacity to claim it was because of him, and she, as a wife, has sexual and fulfillment needs. That needing to feel wanted and loved was important for a woman like her. Move on a few months, they get a divorce. They share custody of the dog, children, while she gets married to the guy she cheated on him with. On top of that, the guy who was a family friend also had the audacity to speak up and say what she did was right and that my uncle should have taken care of her, etc. Imagine thinking you know and have a say in someone else's marriage helped to break it up. That it's fine to do. Do you know what my uncle did to his wife? He ruined her for cheating and leaving him to marry someone else. The family friend as well to make his life hell. He actually messed up both their lives and got full custody of his children. And yes, it was amazingly rewarding, even for us. She left my uncle for someone else. He being who, he tried letting it go. He tried to forgive her, went to church, prayed for her to have a good life, never spoke bad about her, and so on. Then one day, she starts talking to him about having the kids stay over at her house. This continued to her texting messages about how she misses him. He finally caught a wake up and caught on to what she wanted. She wanted to be with him, perhaps cheat with him on her new husband, and kept sending him messages about how she missed him. Thus, he used her feelings and urges to manipulate her into sending tons of backup sex and videos to him by leading her on, which he finally then sent to her new husband. This was while they were trying for a baby with each other. But the stay-at-home wife would now learn her lesson. In fact, they both would. It taught them both a lesson. 1. She will always cheat. 2. The family friend who defended her cheating and married her would learn what it's like to be in my uncle's position since he liked to talk so much. 3. She did it to her husband, now does it to him. Karma. Cause people informed me that I had spelled as karma. Thanks for the notes and various entertainment arguments regarding my spelling. Serves you right for helping her cheat and defending her. Let's see what you say now on your side of the story. 4. Don't be lazy stay-at-home mom without a job, etc. to fall back on. Then when the new husband left my aunt, she couldn't take care of the children. And the laws in my country are funny. And she carelessly signed a prenuptial. She was left out on the street not being able to care for her children. She had no experience and no fine clothing or jewelry anymore to act like a proper prom and proper bitch, as if she has class because she has someone else's money. So he ended up with full custody of the dog and his children. Win-win for everyone, except with a cheating whore and a loudmouth husband. Not so nice when the shoe is on the other foot, friend. She never got that class wasn't what you had, but how you behave. She thought class was having an iPhone, dressing well, and having tidy house while thinking lower of other working people, when she didn't work for her money. I know poor people who basically have nothing, who have more class than she ever will, as they know how to behave, treat, and help others. Edit. My uncle is rich smart enough to use already rich family money to make him richer. The family friend was just as rich, so she clearly has a type. It's called wealthy. My uncle was clever before getting married, the same for the guy. When she got married to this guy, after divorcing him, she lost the money she was entitled to every month as well as the monthly child care money when she lost her children. What money she was able to get from my uncle she spent quickly. I am talking 5-star hotels, $1,000 cruises, clothes from her new husband. Her honeymoon and wedding alone cost her almost $1 million. For her half the event, which lasted like 2 months. Including places around Dubai, shopping trips, and the Mediterranean. Not to mention being a good mommy, she spoiled her kids crazy so they would love her. And knew dad as well, not that he tried much for her children. She didn't take care of what money she was spending or what the prenup entailed, thinking the new husband would treat her family like my uncle. She was literally left on the street after being kicked out. She begged and pled for shelter as well as to see her children. I mean, she was a decent mother besides the children seeing you have sex part, but eventually that stopped when she disappeared to who knows where. Never underestimate a child's ability for revenge. Cross posts, thought it might go well here. First post, TLDR at the end. Am I the asshole? When I was much younger, I was molested by a few different people on different occasions. One almost broke my spirit, but I got my revenge in the end. Being little and in the 4th grade, there wasn't much I could do physically, but I bid my time. After being held out of school by my grandfather, who told me to put on a dress that was much too small and wanted me to sit on his lap, I did neither, but a degree of molestation occurred anyway. I felt dirty, degraded, but most of all, I was pissed. I threw myself even farther into my schoolwork and waited. Tick, tick, tick. My father, who worked nights, was asleep in his room before his shift started. My grandfather and I was in the living room watching TV. He was in his recliner and I on the couch. He started making noises like a puppy were hopping on his stomach, forcing the air from his lungs and vomit into a small trash can next to his chair, then grabbed his chest and looked at me. Confused, I asked if he was okay, and all he could say was, ugh, ugh. I knew from CPR training from the Girl Scout that he was having a heart attack. I sat on the couch and held eye contact with him, smiling. I waited and waited and waited until he felt unconscious. And it was likely too late for anything to be done before getting my dad and telling him what was happening in the living room. Dad called 911 and the ambulance came to take the old man away. And I was sent to the neighbor's house, while Dad followed the ambulance in his own vehicle. The old pervert died in the hospital, and I had to play the tearful granddaughter at the funeral. I guess I wasn't a very good Girl Scout after all. Edit. I never told my dad because he would have killed my grandfather. and I would have placed in a system if he went to jail. And there was no other family members to take me in. I never told my dad after grandfather dies because he would have felt he was unable to protect me, and he was a single father. What a despicable old man, but he did get what he got. Anyway guys, that will be all for me for today. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. I'll be back tomorrow with more stuff. Have a nice rest of the day guys. See ya!